Do we talk like Twitter and Elon just fucking ruining everything?
Yeah, you can find me on Blue Sky. You know, like come find me on Blue Sky. I got the invites if you need them. I mean, maybe at the end of the week I do. I've already used it.
Blue Sky?
Blue Sky is where everybody is going now.
So what's Spill?
Okay.
I don't know what Spill is.
That seems like another one too. I see the Spill
whatever.
invites.
I kind of planted my flag on Blue Sky, but the number one drawback of Blue Sky is that you guys know me. I love a quick GIF. Throw that GIF out there. Blue Sky can't post GIFs, can't post videos.
Yo, are you actually on Blue Sky?
Yeah, dog.
Yo, send me an invite.
Well, hold on. I got to wait a couple of days, okay? And you're in a line. Okay?
Hold on.
I gave out a couple. I gave out my 2.
The disrespect.
And now I talked to FaZe. He was like, hey, man, I'm looking for an invite. So I was like, FaZe, I think I might have some more. So if in a week or so you don't get one, I'll hit you up. But if you want one, Timmy, you are now second in line. And Tones, Shelly, if you want one, you are now slotted in.
How did you get in?
Come on, bro.
This guy lives on the internet, man.
I am online constantly. Okay, where do you think?
Right.
Where do you think all this shit just comes from up here? No, man. No, you got to get on the internet for that.
I respect that.
Now, speaking of, now Shelly, you the best thing on the internet though, the last month has been Cam and Mace.
Yes. Oh,
okay. When did Killa Cam start doing this Doc Rivers impression?
Oh, I haven't even seen that.
My guy sounds like Doc Rivers.
I haven't seen that. But Tones and Timmy, just so you guys know, was it last week we talked about it, Webby? How Cam Cam was the one that basically had the scoop on what Jordan Poole said to Draymond before Draymond knocked him out. And since then, it was interesting to see which media outlets picked up that story. And then Cameron, I saw a couple days ago, he was basically shouting out all the pods that referenced him.
Did he shout us out?
I mean, he hasn't stumbled upon the DVP yet.
DVP?
We need the internet to do its work. We need Webby to do his internet work.
I'm on Blue Sky promoting. We're
DMs,
putting it on Blue Sky.
But yeah, speaking of blue skies, though, I feel like Toronto, skies are blue. It's hot up in the 6th right now. There's a lot going on right now in Toronto.
Yeah, what do you guys think is the most interesting story in the city right now?
That's what I'm saying.
Like sports or just in general?
Man.
I'd say sports.
We got a new mayor?
Okay.
Yeah. Like nobody's going to be able to afford rent in like 2 years.
That already happens now.
It's turning into
funny. What?
Where do you want to go?
You've been in
There's a
Calgary
reason why I'm here in Calgary.
Like you have the Jays with like Manoah, you have the Raptors with like, is there a Pascal trade? You have the Leafs signing Max
Domi and Bertuzzi.
You guys are going to be starting this. I'm going to say the Leafs. So I'm going to say the Leafs too. Because the swing, and this is why I love and hate the internet. I have a love-hate relationship with the internet so much because the wild swing from the first day of free agency, and everyone in Toronto is so mad that they signed Ryan Reeves to 3 years. And why did they do that? And what is Treliving doing? He didn't have to give him 3 years. And then less than 24 hours later, they signed Max Domi and Tyler Bertuzzi. And all of a sudden, Treliving's a GOAT. He's a god. We got to do this. We got to do that. Meanwhile, people are still forgetting. We still need to try to sign Willie and
Austin. Well, I don't know about Willie. I don't think
they're $8 million over the cap already.
I don't think Willie's going to
before the hater tone steps in here.
Listen, have another White Claw. have another White Claw, Antonio, and just let the men talk.
Listen, we got Jonas Corposalo. I'll need this. All right.
Yeah.
So, no, but I'm saying the wild swings, right? From this is like, what is Treliving doing? He doesn't know what he's doing. To the next day, it's like, what was a quote he gave? He's like, the team needed more snot.
Snot.
Snot?
I thought I read that as a quote, but basically they need more toughness. They need more edge. And that's the dudes that he brought in. But everyone seems to be loving the moves on 1-year deals. Listen,
that's the important part. It's the 1-year deals.
Do you like the moves made by the Toronto Maple Leafs? Are they better now than the team that ended last season?
Well, I think so, because somebody's gone. One of those jokers is gone, right? I don't know if it's Hall or whatever, but the big thing about Bertuzzi and Domi isn't that they got Bertuzzi or Domi. It's that they're on one-year deals. Like, that's the key right now. It does. I know Tone says, Frozen Tones down here says that we're that the Leafs are $8 million over the cap, but they still have a lot of wiggle room now with Willie, and a potential deal of him, so they can be Matt a little
Murray
light
too,
on,
right?
Yeah, and Matt Murray too, so they can be a little light on their feet here. But just the 1-year deals for those guys, for two players like that, I think is really smart of Tree, because you get good-ish players, but you're flexible. That's what I think.
Yeah, and I think the 1-year deals and the reminder that as of right now, Willie and Austin are still under contract for next year. So there is a world where they ride this out and just see what happens with Willie for the 1 year as you load up, hope you make your run or whatever, and then, sort it out in the offseason, which would be a huge, massive, terrible risk that I don't think they want to take. But I think the Leafs are the hottest story right now, because if they are able to convince Willie to take a little less, convince Austin to take a little less, which doesn't sound like that's the big thing going on right now. If they bring back those two guys with the additions, is this the best team that we've seen surrounding this core four? Even though the work's not done, but so far, just with these moves made, like Bertuzzi is clearly the best line mate that Austin's had on the top side with Mitch or Willie, whoever's on the opposite side, right? Like, he's better than Bunting is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think both of those two guys are better than Bunting, who they ended up losing anyway.
Okay,
right?
whoa.
Jones, can you back me up on that?
I'm pretty sure Tyler Bertuzzi scored like 8 goals last year. Like, I know he does. He does a bunch of other things well, and I like Tyler Bertuzzi.
I was gonna say
he scored fucking 8 goals last year. Like, he's not the best player that Matthews has played with. I understand the signing. I like that one a lot. But go ahead.
Mm-hmm. No, go.
No,
going. I just think you were feeling it.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Like, it's 1 out of like 8 here, and the work isn't done, as you guys have said. They're way over the cap. This team's gonna get worse. The decor is horrendous. It's so bad. Nobody can play defense back there. Nobody. John Klingberg is a fun player, man. He's gonna have a couple highlight reel goals. He's gonna make a sick outlet pass to like Mitch Marner. It's gonna look awesome. It's gonna make highlight reels, whatever. He is going to be a liability back there. And it's like, you're still relying on Morgan Riley to still be your top guy. That's not going to happen. You still got to sign Samsonov. You still have the Nylander move to figure out. He's not coming back, guys. It's over. But we broke it down in the fucking DVP pod. He's not coming back.
I don't like your negative vibes right now.
No. Willie's not coming back. He's probably coming here to Calgary, to be honest. But the thing is, what D-men are out there right now that you're talking about that are stay-at-home, lockdown defensemen that other teams are not signing or have available? Because I don't see many out there.
Isn't it all the Calgary guys?
And you're right about that, Webby.
Yeah, it's pretty much Danev. They already lost a couple, but yeah. Get Zadorov, man. He's not great defensively, but he's a big unit. Pause.
I think that's where that's where you cash in the Willie chip, I think, personally. But
I don't like this negative energy.
It's not just
No, Shelly, you're gonna have to get ready to live in a Willie-less world.
Until it happens, okay? Yeah. I don't like this negative energy. I understand what's going on. And I will say this. The last thing I heard from Fried was Fried saying that Willie doesn't want to, the rumor is he wants 10, the Leafs want 8. And if I'm Willie and I'm looking at Mitch took 11, you can't look at me and talk about 8. Like, I understand the logic of, wait a second, I'm not taking that much of a haircut if everyone else isn't also going to take a haircut for the betterment of the team. So I get where Willie's coming from. I just hope that maybe him and Austin can talk it out, figure it out. They bring it all back and let's go. Cause I think like Bertuzzi on that top line, like he's better than Bunting. He's better than Zach Hyman, right? Like, I feel like you have that top line of Matthews, Marner, and Bertuzzi. Let's roll. Right? You got the trickle down. The last thing I want to ask you guys, though, is about the Ryan O'Reilly stuff. Because that kind of picked up some steam in terms of did he leave because he didn't like what he saw in the room? that's a shot at the core four guys, right?
I mean,
do you think there's some legitimacy to that, Tones?
There's also that's pure speculation, right? That's I would love to, as a hater of the Leafs, I would love to believe that. I would love to sit here and be like, yeah, it's the fucking dude. They suck. It's Matthews. He's an asshole, but whatever. I don't know. That's just pure speculation. That's just a story that seems to be getting legs. And whether it's true or not, we may never find out, or we might just find out in a year from now. But I do think it is kind of telling. The part of the Ryan O'Reilly thing that really makes me chuckle more than anything is again, this team knows how to sell hope to this fan base where it's like you guys mentioned before, they needed some snot, they needed some winners, and everyone's like, oh, we got winners, we got guys, whatever. Sorry, what was Ryan O'Reilly? Yeah. What was Nick Foligno? You guys have had these dudes. Max Domi hasn't won dick. Tyler Bertuzzi hasn't done anything. He's 28 years old. Again,
both dudes were okay in the playoffs last year.
Domi being this winner, give me a fucking break. These are guys that are going to come in and fix the room and da-da-da-da. If those three guys, including Reed, have to fix your room, we got an issue here. We got a major issue that Ryan O'Reilly couldn't even solve. And that's if that story is true, which I don't believe.
Again, the Domi and the Bertuzzi thing aren't about Domi and Bertuzzi. They're about getting those kinds of players on one-year deals. That's what matters.
What are those kinds of players? What are those kinds of players, Robbie?
But on that same kind of level, the Ryan O'Reilly thing doesn't have anything to do with the room. It's got to do with money, doesn't it? We're just talking about how the Leafs are handcuffed by this cap and how much they're over it. Of course, you're not going to pay a guy like Ryan O'Reilly, who's getting up there in years, the bag that he's looking for elsewhere. That's what it is.
So question, would you have wanted to pay the $5.5 million to O'Reilly or Bertuzzi?
For how many years?
Yeah, because
doesn't matter. Cap's going up.
No. It definitely does.
3 years.
Because Ryan O'Reilly is not looking for a one-year deal.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan O'Reilly was
Tyler Bertuzzi until he signed one. No one thought Bertuzzi was going on a one-year deal. Nobody. Nobody. Yeah. That was a shocker, right? And everyone knows what's going on. Cap's going to go up.
He's young enough to get another contract after this year. Ryan O'Reilly is looking for the last contract of his career.
Yeah, that's definitely true. But the money-wise, it's still probably going to be 5.5 in that ballpark, right? Is it not?
It's going to be. Yeah. But it's the 5.5 that happens in 3-4 years.
Where did he sign?
That you're avoiding.
O'Reilly's in Nashville.
What did he sign for? How many?
What did he sign for?
It was 4.5 or something. 4.5, 5.
Yeah, Ryan O'Reilly signed in Nashville.
For 3-4 years or something.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's too long.
That's the thing. It's that $3.5-4 million that you're paying him in 4 years when he's my age.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's what you're avoiding.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I see the O'Reilly news, and I'm like, that's chatter. Okay, go have another drink and crash your vintage truck into another Tim Hortons. Whoa. Get out of here.
Whoa.
That took a turn, bro.
I'd say it's my favorite story of the NHL of all time.
Took a turn. Took a dark turn there.
Dark turn. No one was hurt. It was 4 a.m.
Were some White Claws involved?
Where are we going?
We're on a tour.
Where are you taking me?
Are we going to the dock? Where are we going?
No, we're going outside, getting some sun.
I like it. Why not?
The thing about the Leaf story is that is positivity. And so that's why I think it's the biggest story right now, sports-wise in TO. Because what's going on with the Raptors, especially with the news that has been coming out, and especially with what we had talked about extensively last week, Shelley, is that it has not been very positive for the Toronto Raptors this week.
Well, you and I went back and forth last week about what was going to happen with Fred VanVleet. You were convinced that he was leaving. The money was too much. But here's the thing, Webby. If you had told me that the money that he ended up signing for was the money that was on the table last week, I would have agreed with you, because there's no way you turned down 3 years, 130. There's no way you turned that down.
It was more than I thought, even. Well, much more than I thought it was going to be.
So it's a new era in Raptor land. Even if Pascal Siakam is here or not, I think the writing's on the wall. It's time to, reload, rebuild, whatever the phrase is you want to put on it. As free agency opened up, the Raptors offered Fred VanVleet a new deal. Fred VanVleet decided to take the bag and go to the Houston Rockets. The Raptors are left flat-footed. They scrambled to get Dennis Schroeder.
Yeah, your starting point guard for the Toronto Raptors next year is Dennis Schroeder until you guys trade for Harden.
I think that I think they'll start Scotty at point guard. I don't think that's going to go well. I'm not saying they should. I'm just saying if you're starting Dennis Schroeder, we're in trouble. But I think okay. What should the Raps do now? As Fred VanVleet's gone, you've seen Dennis Schroeder's come in. First off, your reaction to the Fred VanVleet thing and how that was handled by the Toronto Raptors. How bad is it? Is it actually? I can't believe I'm asking this question. Is it time that we take a look at Masai and kind of be like, what's going on here?
Does he have a plan? Is this part of a grand scheme? I don't know.
This can't be a plan.
But this can't.
Dennis Schroeder can't be a part of a plan, bro.
If this is your plan, then yeah, we definitely need to talk about Masai, because this was. I mean, you want to talk about getting caught flat-footed. This team was caught flat-footed for the last 4 months since March.
I go way February? Before that. They're caught flat-footed.
Deadline.
Hold on. This is. I'm gonna give a little story time here, a little history lesson here for all of the kids and all the people in the Twitter land that have such short memories.
Or blue sky.
Do you know when the Raptors really messed this up? It was when they thought they were gonna get Giannis. Yeah. That's really when they messed this up, because ever since they didn't get Giannis, it's just been downhill from there, and they didn't have a proper plan B for not getting Giannis Antetokounmpo. What was that? The year after the championship run?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, sorry. The year after the championship run. So remember, Serge is a free agent. They didn't want to sign Serge for the extra year because they wanted to keep cap space open for Giannis. They didn't sign OG yet because they wanted to keep cap space open for Giannis. Giannis doesn't come. They let Serge go. He takes the 2 years elsewhere. They sign OG into that spot. And since then, it's just been, I mean, other than Scotty Barnes over Jalen Suggs, which is a great pick for sure. He won Rookie of the Year. More power to you. Everything since then, you should have been trying to retool and revamp this roster, and they failed to do that at every single point. Last year, the start of last season, there's no way you should have let Fred VanVleet enter last year without a contract. They offered him 4 years. I think it was 114, and they mutually decided to not talk about it until the end of the season. After you start last season so poorly, teams infighting, Nick Nurse is sending home assistant coaches, Masai's having to come on the road to yell at the team to play better. All these things are happening last season, and you decide we're not going to trade anyone at the trade deadline. Like, this goes beyond, my point is, it goes beyond the 4 months that you were talking about, Webby. There hasn't been a consistent plan since the championship run. They let it ride for one more year in the bubble. Cool. You lost to Boston in 7. And since then, it's just been, the bag has been fumbled in Toronto. And now we're in this in-between point where, what's the next rumor? Going to trade Pascal for DeJounte Murray?
Harden, I heard.
Harden? No, they can't get James Harden.
What? Because the Raptors don't have a point guard. They've got Dennis Schroeder. So either picks or OG for Harden is what I heard.
No fucking.
There's no way. There's no way your boy Morey does
no
that. Way. There's a 0% chance your boy Morey does that.
Or how about Pascal?
I still don't think Morey does that, but I wouldn't do that if I'm the Raptors. Why would I do that if I'm the Raptors?
Don't have a point guard and Pascal doesn't want to be there.
Webby, who would you rather have?
Hold on. Is Webby the Sixers or is Webby the Raptors?
Webby's the Sixers.
As a Sixers fan, I think you know what, it sucks because the whole thing last week with Shelley was that Fred's got friends on the team. That's why he's more likely to stay or whatever. But hooking up Pascal with a Cameroonian brother, Embiid, I think would be pretty cool. They've got the guard in Maxey, and then I think you do whatever you can to get off of the Tobias contract, like whether that's shipping him off for parts or whatever. But if you could flip him for Siakam, I think that would be pretty cool. But just seeing the collective Raptors fans crap their pants when they trade for a 30-something-year-old James Harden would be fantastic. That's what I'm here for.
They're not doing that. That cannot happen. That just
can't happen. Again, just want to say this is the guy who said that Fred VanVleet will sign back with Toronto.
I said the Raptors would overpay for Fred VanVleet, and they tried to hold on. They tried to overpay for Fred VanVleet. It's just the Rockets overpaid on the overpay for Fred VanVleet. 3 years. Hold on. $43 million a year for Fred VanVleet. I love Freddie.
He's a great guy, apparently.
Right? That is the epitome. Hold on. That is the epitome of bet on yourself and coming up big time.
Yeah.
43 mil a year. That's insane. I thought 33 mil a year was an overpay. He got 10 mil more than that. That's crazy.
What's crazier, that move or the $80 million the Rockets gave to Dylan Brooks?
See, I'm with JJ Redick. I'm not that mad at Dylan Brooks. Like, I get that he talked shit to LeBron and it was dumb, and I get all that. But like,
it goes beyond that. He's Grayson Allen levels of garbage on the court.
Yeah, he's an NBA player. Like, he's a solid NBA player. I'd take him on my team. I would want him on my team.
Would you take Grayson Allen on your team?
No.
Why? They're the same player.
Why?
They're the same player.
Grayson Allen, Duke. Nah, Grayson Allen. He's dirty. Doesn't he punch people in the groin and shit?
What does Dylan Brooks do?
He just talks shit to LeBron. No,
he punches people in the dick.
Oh, you're right. Actually,
yeah.
You're actually right. I forgot about that. That's a good.
He is what Chappelle called a habitual line stepper.
Dylan Brooks is a Toronto man's at least, so I'll take that.
Mississauga man's. Let's get it real.
Hold on, ain't nobody really claiming Mississauga like that. Like, you're a Toronto man's. Like, let's be clear. When he's traveling around Houston and they're asking, where are you from? He's not saying I'm from Mississauga.
Yeah, he should be saying I'm from Mississauga. My Toronto ends at Bloor.
What is this? What is happening right now?
I always wanted that on a T-shirt. My Toronto ends at Bloor. Everything else.
What are the boundaries? What's how far west?
East west. I'm saying east. You're talking about the DVP, and then west. Really don't go past
Liberty.
No. No. You keep going west because there's some good. There's some good spots. I've been away for so long, so it's Dufferin, and then. What's west of Dufferin? What am I thinking of?
Jameson?
No. Where is Paradise?
Ossington?
No, keep going west.
Further Lansdowne.
West. Where's Club Paradise?
Oh, Lansdowne.
There you go. Boom. There's my west. Paradise. Anything past Club Paradise, I'm not going.
So Etobicoke, Mississauga.
Etobicoke is Etobicoke.
This is I'm not even engaging in this terrible. The slander that the East End gets of people who don't know, but the slander
zip code
of people that don't go across the DVP and oh no, is that on the other side of the DVP?
Yeah,
it's listen,
may as well be Ottawa.
Horizon.
May as well be Ottawa.
Whoa,
stop it. No.
You've gone too far.
Right? It's miss me with that talk. When I asked, who it was? It was Niche. I remember we were talking about something, and he's like, "Is that on the other side of the DVP?" I'm like, "Did you just really say that? That's a thing?" They're like, "Yeah, that's far east." I'm like, "Wow,
this is good DVP conversation. This is bringing up the namesake."
No one's done better for the Don Valley Highway than us.
That's what I'm saying.
When I first moved to Toronto, I used to think north of Bloor was Narnia.
Yeah, it's the suburbs.
I was like, there's no way, absolutely no. When I met my wife, she was like, yeah, I'm around King City. It's 40 minutes north. I thought that was the furthest place on earth. Honest to God, Yorkdale, Yorkdale and shit. I was like, where the fuck am I? This is nuts.
I remember going to a basketball tournament in King City when I was in high school. So random.
If I can't walk there from work, it's I'm not going.
Well, you live in Calgary now. You're not walking
my whole
anywhere
thing.
in Toronto.
I know now.
I
moved out here. I had to buy a car immediately. Me out there driving. I got to tell you a story. So I'm driving. I've got bad road rage. Okay, I'm bad in the car.
I can't picture that.
So there's this person, and they're an idiot. They're trying to move over lanes, but they're blocking my lane. And I got Ivy in the back, right? Mm-hmm. And she's on Dad's phone, clicking away, whatever. And I go, go! And just from the back, I hear, Daddy, you're already going. And I was like, all right, she's listening. So what do we got? We want.
I do want to hold on. I want to ask you guys. No. Hold on. I do want to ask you guys though about Manoah. So Manoah's back. What First off, this Jays season, we're entering close to the All-Star break. The Jays,
like every other Jays season.
Yes, just like playing that middling game. But the big story obviously is Alek Manoah. They sent him down. People thought he might be gone for a while. One start in Double-A. My guy's back, baby. What do we think? Tones, you look not pleased.
I love Manoah, so I hope it works out. But that is dicey, my friends. That is, he made 2 starts. The first one was against the fucking high schoolers, where he just got absolutely lit up.
Sorry, I was taking the Jays PR claim that one didn't count.
He was working on stuff. He was throwing. He was trying to locate the
Maybe he was throwing one pitch. Maybe he was just throwing his fastball, trying to locate the fastball.
Maybe he was just pitching left-handed. He was trying out some left-handed.
He thought it was slow pitch.
Which it basically has been for him all season. So whatever. What's the difference, right? I hope it works out. I really do. I saw a theory from somebody who I'm now going to forget. It was on Twitter, but one of the Jays guys that was like, well, I think it's more about them getting him. Like, I think he's going to start against Detroit, who's ass. So I think it's about just trying to see where he's at ahead of the trade deadline. The other factor here is Hyunjin Ryu is also rehabbing, and he looked pretty good apparently in his last start. And it's like, hey, all of a sudden you can have kind of like, do you need help with that 5th starter spot? If Ryu's coming up probably within the next few weeks or within the next month, even if Manoah's shit, they kind of have to know that stuff, right? So I think that's kind of where they're at. That's my sense, at least. I really hope Manoah turns it around. I love watching him pitch. It's more fun. Like the Jays season's just better when he's barking at the Red Sox for.
Yeah. And I think this could be a thing for him where it's better, where I don't know if it's like a humbling type thing. I don't know if it's a thing where, you just kind of need a second to reset if you're Alek Manoah, right? And you come back and you figure out your place, you get back to business, because we've seen this before where a young guy comes up, things are working, and when you get to whatever professional sport it is, the NFL, NBA, MLB, you've been a star, right, for so long, and then you get to the pinnacle of it, you're putting in work, but the reason why it's a top level is because everyone's able to make adjustments. And then now it's on you to make the counter to that and figure it out on the top level. But the scouting report's out. You're not surprising people anymore, right? But now everyone knows what you're throwing. Everyone knows what your pitches are. Now you got to adjust. Now you got to master your craft. And that's what we'll see if Alek Manoah is ready to fully take that step and turn back into the star pitcher, the ace of the staff that Blue Jays fans, Ross Atkins and company thought that he was heading into this season. For me, this is tough, because if this doesn't go well against the Tigers, what do you do then? You're not sending them back down. So you're kind of just letting them work through the funk. I don't know. It's a tough spot.
I got 2 questions. Okay. A, what's your prediction, realistic prediction of his numbers come Friday against Detroit? What do you think he goes? Like 5 innings?
Yeah, I'll go like I don't think they keep him out, to be honest. I don't think they let anybody see him a third time. So it's probably like 4 innings, maybe 4 earned runs, like, a couple walks, like nothing amazing, but nothing like terrible. And that's when it'll be, it's a stepping stone. This is one step in the right direction. And then he's going to get lit up in the start after. I hope not. I want Manoah to be good.
So, and then that's my other question. How short is this leash that he's going to have on this return in terms of how many starts he gets? Say he comes out and, like Tone said, he's okay. 4 innings, couple of hits, couple of earned runs, strikeout here or there, maybe a walk or 2. Okay, stepping stone. Then he comes out and totally craps the bed. Is he pulled back down right away, or is he set up for another start? Or like, how long is this leash?
I don't think you can send him back down for the rest of the season. Like, that would be so embarrassing for you to bring him back up, him get rocked, and then you send him back down again. Well, you gotta let him work through it, but you just keep the leash super short. So you let him start the game.
Bullpen,
it's like the 3rd, 4th inning, whatever. Cool. You pull him. As Tone said, you don't let him get to the next go round in the lineup. and short outings. We're chewing innings.
Is it bullpen arm then at that point?
No,
because you can't keep bringing him out there as a starter if he's going to get his tits lit.
I mean, listen, I think that at this point you brought him back up. What do you do now? You can't send him back down. You really can't. You gotta give it a go at this point. You gotta let him get like 3 or 4 starts in and at least see where he's at. Like, you gotta let it ride. If he gets ripped on Friday, he gets ripped on Friday. He's going to be back out 5 days later to
I think he'll get at least 2 or 3 starts before they figure out what they're going to do with him.
Agreed.
Correct. Agreed. And then I think what they do at the deadline and how Ryu comes back factors into this a lot, as we were saying. And like, I honestly think that like they've used the option. They can send him back down. Like, like if this team, again, it depends where they're at. So there's a lot of variables here, but like, this is not a team that's like in rebuild mode that's just trying to like get some young guys, some experience or whatever. They're trying to win. So like you can't have him be on the 26
But how's that working out for them?
Taking up a spot. Like,
I can't lie.
Well, listen, they're still doing okay with him down in the minors. And again, if you solve that 5th starter spot in some capacity, like then you kind of have to move on from him this year, right? I'm not saying you trade him. I'm not saying you do whatever, but you just kind of say, listen, pal, let's pick this back up next spring and get you ready. Yeah, and that's basically it. Like, he's just going to have to take his lumps. I think he'll be around the team, but I just don't think they'll use him, right? Like, it'll be a September call-up. He'll be around. I don't know. You just can't have him be pitching every 5 days if he's like a liability out there. You can't.
How confident are you guys in the Jays making the playoffs? And I mean, I know they added the wild card, like the playoffs here, the wild card that gives more teams a chance. So obviously the Jays are in the mix. At current point as we stand, they're 2 games out.
Mm-hmm. I think.
Are we confident of the Jays in making the playoffs here?
I am. Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually am so because Vladdy. Is that crazy? I think Vladdy. Like, I smiled when I saw that he was going to be in the home run derby, and I was like, "This is perfect. He's gonna just shake off the cobwebs and exercise the demons by hitting bombs at a home run derby. Hey, he gets to just swing freely and just learn how to fucking hit the ball up in the air again. You know what I'm saying?
Nothing like a home run derby to totally fix your swing and get you back on track, right?
Well,
that's historically, that's what's happened so often.
Well, the reality of the situation, again, hey, this is history lesson number 2 for us with short memories. I feel like, wasn't it a couple years ago when Vladdy was having a really, really good season and they were like, don't want to put him in the home run derby, don't want to mess with his swing.
Yeah.
And then so this
year, now it's the opposite.
Not having that good of a year.
It's a good
maybe
point.
he can work things out in the home run derby.
I'm telling you, Timmy can attest to this, okay? When you're trying to figure out the driver on the golf course, it's a nightmare. But when you go to the sim,
short in the backswing.
Just hammer.
You just got to find your slot. You find the slot, and then you
open up the hip.
Timmy swing, Vladdy swing, Timmy swing, same thing.
Rotate.
Tones is dancing right now. I don't know what's going on right now.
No, you gotta rotate.
I love it.
You gotta rotate.
I would say if I were to put a percentage on the Jays making the postseason in some capacity, I would put it at probably 60%, more likely than not.
Okay.
But this team making a deep run from that position, I would put much lower. I would put it like 25% of not being just fodder for whoever you're going to play in that.
I'm going to be very honest. As long as I keep seeing Brandon Belt in the 3-hole in the Jays lineup,
mashing,
I could not take them seriously.
Kid's mashing. Kid,
right now,
like my age.
Cool. He's doing a good job now, but I'm just saying I cannot take them seriously.
Shell, you need a lefty bat up there to mix things up, man.
100%.
Varsho?
I look at
Belt.
I always compare it with always just because of my upbringing and the teams that I rooted for in baseball. I always compare them to the Phils. Always.
Mm-hmm.
Just in my mind, they've got totally different team setups, totally different lineups, the whole deal. Okay, but they are very, very similar this year.
All I'm saying is,
you look at last year. You look at last year what the Phils were able to do from the last wild card spot and make it all the way to the World Series. Crazier things have happened. So all you got to do is get in.
Yep.
It's all you got to do.
There.
I wish I just had the wrap it up thing to like, as soon as Webby mentioned Philly or the Phillies or anything Philadelphia, I wish I had the wrap it up cue.
Brandon
just
Marsh
to like
looks
cut
like he
him
hasn't
off.
showered in like 2 months. The guy is amazing.
We stopped listening to you already. The Philly horn came on. What? Huh? What'd you say?
Did you know? Now I watched this great video today. Great video. I haven't watched it all because it's an hour and 30 minutes, but it's the explanation of every logo throughout the history of baseball. Okay, so they go team by team by team. So I fast forwarded right to the Phils. Did you know that they used to be called the Philadelphia Blue Jays back in like the 30s? Look, everybody's gone. They booted me. They booted me.
Webby, that story and your Philadelphia talk was almost as bad as the Idol.
Oh,
almost.
Incredible finale. Incredible.
Incredibly what?
But it wasn't the finale.
Incredibly funny.
I don't know. Like, I know earlier in this pod I said the internet is crazy for the wild swings it takes.
Yeah.
But seeing people say that this might be the worst show they've ever seen.
Oh, it's bad.
I can't really argue with that too much. I'm trying to think of a show that I actually watch, or at least I'll say this, an HBO show that I've watched.
Newsroom.
No way. The Newsroom was better than the Idol.
Newsroom was as bad as the Idol.
No, not
as bad.
Will McAvoy, I will stand on Will McAvoy. I will not take that slander of Will McAvoy.
Bad for different reasons. Bad for different reasons, but bad. Both bad.
You're nuts. That's a crazy note. Bad take, Webby. Another terrible take. From the Philly talk to the Newsroom being worse than the Idol. Oh, come on, man.
Webby, what's worse? The Fix You montage from the Newsroom, or the pitch for the tour on the Idol, the finale.
No. The Fix You montage might be the cringiest thing that's ever been on television. That scene started the word cringe. It started it. Okay. Now the worst thing on the Idol. The worst thing on the Idol finale was the Eli Roth character, the ticket guy, the woman, and Hank Azaria standing up in SoFi Stadium saying, "Guys, we got him. We ruined his life. We're so great. We ruined it. Isn't that great how we ruined his life?" It was honestly one of the. I couldn't stop laughing. It was hilarious to me how bad it was.
You know what it screams of? It screamed of, okay, this is how we're going to end the show. But you know what? We would really need a scene to kind of like just hype this part up. That like, so then when the twist comes at the end, it'll really be a shocker. But we need one more scene of just talking about how much we ruined Tendros's life. There was so
many times during that finale where I was like, wait a minute, did I miss something? Like, am I paying attention? Because
you did miss something.
Jocelyn changes her. All of a sudden, she loves Tedros. Then the next scene, totally hates him. It's like, what did I miss? Like
that show. So they tried to. You can picture the room as soon as I watched it. Okay, I felt like I could picture the writers' room where like. I was about to say something that would get me in trouble, but I'm adjusting on the fly.
We'll edit it out.
Don't get fired. Don't get fired.
Yeah, don't get fired. Don't get fired.
I'm picturing the writing room where someone who's in charge comes in and they're just like, so it's probably The Weeknd or Levinson, and they're like, okay, we got to have this big twist at the end. And so this is how we're going to end it. Jocelyn was the mastermind all along.
She was the idol. She was the cult leader the whole time.
That's going to be the big twist. And the writers are kind of sitting there like, wait, what? Like, this doesn't really make much sense. He's like, no, we'll make it work. And then Tedros is going to pick up the brush and he's going to be like, wait, this brush is brand new. Now, they're not going to explain the fact that he obviously had the brush before and he would have noticed that it was brand new the first time she brought him the brush and she gave him the brush. He might have noticed that then, but hey, who knows, right? Who needs continuity?
You just see, and it's like you see The Weeknd walking in the background of this writer's room and all the writers being like, has the check cleared yet? Like, it's gone, it's in the account now. Yeah. All right.
It's so bad. This show is so bad that I saw this tweet that I thought was hilarious because it pretty much sums up exactly how bad this show is. So this was someone named Kat on Twitter just said, "The Idol is over. The show's final scene was shot in front of a live audience at the Weeknd concert and went viral as the show aired, meaning the last scene and overall arc of the series was spoiled for everyone who bothered to tune in." But yet nobody cared because nobody tuned in to watch the show.
Right.
So picture like the end of Succession, everybody knowing that, like, you know, what happens, like that fight scene. Yeah, that like they announced Wamsgams as winning at like the Mets game or something, and they shot it like, you know, last season in front of
at the Mets game. There's nobody there anyway.
Why you got to do that, man? We're already down and out. Whatever. The Knicks game. How about the Knicks game?
Okay.
Right? It would be like they shot the scene at a Knicks game, so everyone's there on their phone filming it. So all these people know. So for the whole season, while you're watching, to be like, wait, who's gonna win Succession? It's already on.
I already know. Yeah.
But nobody cares because the show is so bad, and it didn't even get spoiled.
I think the show is even worse because I binged season 2 of The Bear, kind of in the 2 weeks of the last 2 Idol episodes. I've banged out The Bear, and I know it's not available in Canada yet. So listen, Rogers,
we're gonna talk about it. No.
We're gonna internet.
You know what? We'll hold The Bear.
It's so good, guys.
I know.
So
I watched it too.
That's my next show.
I watched it too, and when it comes out here,
we'll hit it up.
We'll do a recap of The Bear then, because I'm actually gonna rewatch it. That's how good I thought it was, and it's a quick, easy watch.
Yeah,
half-hour episodes.
Mm-hmm. And good writing and great performances, and production design is amazing.
All things that you can't say about The Idol.
And
I guess the set design was good.
It's shot in multiple locations that just aren't the Weeknd's house or SoFi Stadium, because it seems to me those are the only 2 places that we were in The Idol. We spent a lot of time at the Weeknd's house, which it's a beautiful house, unbelievable views, crazy rooms, beautiful in the Hollywood Hills. But there was no other place that show took place.
What was your reaction at the very end? Spoiler alert. What was your reaction at the very end when there's a twist and it's revealed that really she was the one pulling the strings and she needed the Weeknd? She was playing along, but manipulating him along the way to get what she wanted. The big reveal. Timmy, I want to know what your reaction was when you saw that. Were you happy, surprised, just like, what the fuck? What was your reaction?
I literally had zero feelings. I saw it. I was just like watching. It just happened in front of me, and I was just like, oh, okay, like the whole like the swerve of the swerve at the end, where even like the security is like, what's your name again? Teddy? Like, it's like that was just pointless, and it's just like it just dragged on just to get this one moment, and it just fell flat because the whole show, everything, like I said before, there were so many times during that episode where I was like, hold on, like, did I miss something? Like, I just felt like all these characters were doing things that made zero sense. And like I said before, like, I don't know. It's
the reason it makes no sense is because after he got kicked out, why would he show up if there were no tickets for him? Like, he wouldn't just randomly go to the stadium and show up and be like, hey, there's tickets left for me.
Okay.
If there weren't tickets left for him, like, why would he do that?
What was the point of the movie star boyfriend?
Absolutely nothing.
What was the point of that? Of introducing that character in half an episode, quarter of an episode.
One scene.
An extra sex scene. That's about it.
That didn't make any sense.
I'm glad we don't have to talk about the show anymore, honestly.
Oh, fuck. Me too, man. What's next? Is there something else coming out?
It makes me appreciate rewatching The Sopranos, which we can do a Sopranos update, figure out where everyone's at in The Sopranos, because the writing, you remember what an actual good show is with writing and character development. Because as I said from the beginning of The Idol, and it's only more true at the end, there could have been a good show there if there were good writers, right? If there was a good, theme and storytelling, and they developed some of the characters and they made you care about anyone. And Webby mentioned The Bear, and the big thing about The Bear, and even if I compare it to The Sopranos, or not Sopranos, to Succession, because people are trying to have the debate. Was this season of The Bear better than Succession? We'll get there once you guys watch and catch up. We won't have the debate now, but I'll say about The Bear, I liked all the characters. You're rooting for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And when I think about Sopranos, we talk about the allure of Tony, of being this guy that does these horrible things, but you're still rooting for him. You're laughing with them.
Yeah.
Like, how many times does he get out of his chair, freak out at his therapist, which, like, yo, you can't do that. Like, it just seems like when you think of it in the context of 2023, you're like, yo, this is insane.
Poor Melfi.
But
shouldn't have gone over and said hi to him at the restaurant. Shouldn't have done it. Shouldn't have done it, Melfi.
What did she say? Toodaloo.
Toodaloo. Toodaloo.
Where are you guys in Sopranos? Just tell me what the last thing is that you saw.
I'm season 3, episode 1. I fucked up.
It starts with the Sinatra song. It was a very good
I just
year.
saw. Hold on. Where's everybody at? Timmy, have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we've all seen it.
I've seen the whole thing. Yeah.
I just saw Pussy get whacked.
Oh, yeah.
Which is so unfortunate because, A, he just had a nice face. I just enjoyed looking at it. He's just a nice guy. He just seemed like a nice dude. And also, his name's Pussy, and that's just incredible. Like, this guy should have been a main character for the whole fucking show. I understand it, but yeah, very sad.
Don't go against the family, man.
Can't go against them. Can't go against them.
Talk.
I was really actually happy in that moment because for a second, I was like, a bad show would have let him off the hook and been like, listen, here's a ticket to like Thailand, go start a new life and whatever. And they killed him. And I was like, okay, good. Like, this is good. I like this. I like where this is going.
I was going to ask you something else though, because I was going to say, as the show goes along, I found, and I'm in season 4, or maybe I just finished 4. But bottom line is, people continue to die, right? And that's not a spoiler, just people die. We know this. Mm-hmm. In this show, though, I had to remind myself of what it would have been like watching this when it originally aired, because we weren't in that world where big time characters get killed off of shows. Mm-hmm. So the surprise angle of everyone gathering around to tune in at their like there were watch parties. You were gathering at your friend's house every Sunday to watch HBO and watch The Sopranos every Sunday, and, you know, huge cliffhangers, people dying, all that. Like, that was huge. And now watching it when I'm binging it again, right? So that loses some of the luster. But then also I noticed after someone else gets got, I remember sitting there and I was thinking, oh, this would have hit so much harder then than it does now, because I've seen all these different shows now where people just die. Everyone just copied The Sopranos. They're like, oh yeah, we can lose this character. And the show just keeps going.
Now,
but it's so genius.
The question I wanted to ask Tone about that whole big pussy thing was that episode before that happens is that big dream episode, right? Where he's on the boardwalk with the fish. And that's really, I think, the first time in the show that they rely on the dream episode. Now, I'm not going to spoil anything, but I wanted to ask you, what did you think about that episode leading into the whacking of Big Puss?
I like that. I thought it made sense because this so far, my sense is the show is about Tony's head. It's not about like the mob. You know what I mean? It's about like trying to dig into like what is going on in this guy's brain. Yeah. So I actually liked it quite a bit. And like, you know, we've all seen a million mob movies, a million mob shows. Like, that's just not an angle that you typically see. They're just like, oh, I just want money and I just want to kill people. Yeah. So I actually thought it was really cool. And I thought it was really well done. And I thought it made a lot of sense. I was like a little confused, but like the stomach bug thing, aligning with that, I was like, is to another, or would have the breakdown have happened at some point without the stomach thing, or what? But
so I asked that because Shelly just brought it up. Like, when I was watching the show, I was like, I got hooked on the first season. I was in high school when it started, and I loved it. So I was tuning in. Like, I watched it with my parents for the first 3 seasons. And I got a little uncomfortable a couple of times in the Webster household, but that's okay.
Every single scene in the Bing that starts with the Bing.
But I just remember that episode of the Dream episode. When you're investing in the show and kind of tuning in every week, I felt, and it could have been because I was younger and a little dumber. Not so much. I'm not so much smarter now, but I saw those episodes as like almost a waste. And it was like, oh, I want something to happen. And so the dream episodes, but now being able to binge them, I've been able to like really appreciate that episode even more now because it leads right into that thing. So I kind of like the binging or the streaming aspect of a show like Sopranos, because while you're right, Shelley, it was such an event every week that if something didn't happen, I almost felt like, fuck, well, like now I got to wait a week for something to happen.
Well, this leads into another interesting conversation too, because so The Bear again comes out, I think later this month in Canada. I don't know if they're going to
it all at one.
I don't know if they're going to, because last year it was week by week. Yeah. Season 1, it was week by week. But in the States, they dropped all episodes at once. And the conversation has been kind of which is better. Would you rather, are you guys more prone to binge something, or would you like the week to week, have, you know, the episode drop, the big episode happen, have a week to digest it, debate it, read up on it, talk about it like we did with Succession? Or is it better for the binge? Do you guys have a preference either way?
Binge unless it's an all-time Mount Rushmore show like Succession.
Yeah.
And that's like a very rare, like I've heard great things about The Bear. I haven't watched it yet. I don't think like it's going to be hard to get on that Mount Rushmore and get on that mountain. Like Succession's the show for me, that, and like Game of Thrones is the only other one. And that was it. Yeah. And like everything else I find now, and this is my millennial attention span, I find I forget about it. Right? Like it'll like, I was watching Silo on Apple TV. They released like the first 3 episodes. I flew through those and then I kind of forgot about it. And I was like, oh shit, yeah, that show. And that was like 3 weeks later. And then I binged the next 3. And then and then, you know, I find I don't even finish shows because I just forget about them. So I'm team binge.
Yeah. Hopefully I'll forget about The Idol sooner than later.
Yeah. I've already forgot. It's like Tim. It's like the show ended and I forgot about it.
I was trying to explain to one of my friends who was asking like, oh, what's the show like? And like, it's terrible. And we started talking about it. And I was like, be prepared as well. There's a lot of sex. Like her nipples are basically like co-stars of the show.
Yeah. Which I got no problem with. I mean, great.
Hold on. I need to clarify. That was not a complaint.
Okay.
I was just stating a matter of fact.
Fair.
Sounded like a complaint. So I'm glad you clarified.
Always important to clarify your words here. One last thing I want to ask you guys about. Did you see, I mean, we talk about what's going on the internet and in culture, and it seemed that every celebrity appeared to be at Michael Rubin's house for his 4th of July party. Have we seen this video?
The best is I saw a screen cap of James Corden, and somebody took a screen cap and said, "Is this Luka Doncic?" I was dying.
No,
it was the best. That was the best.
That's good.
That's tough scene.
That is awesome.
I mean, other than this stupid white party being like a foregone conclusion that Harden and Tobias Harris are going to come back to the Sixers, and that being devastating to my soul. Yeah, I love the video. My life's a movie. Great.
Who was a person you saw in the montage that you're kind of like, how's that person there?
It was James Corden for me, for sure. Like I was like, what? Like, okay,
no, it's Tyrese Maxey.
Like, okay, sure.
Now, I'm going to say this, and especially after what just happened, I'm going to state this is not a complaint.
Okay.
Right? But when I saw Taylor Rooks, I was like, really? Like
I know who
there's
Taylor
like
Rooks.
Kardashian, you know, J-Lo, Taylor Rooks. Again, not a complaint. Clarifying that. But I was just kind of like, interesting. Okay.
I was a little surprised Affleck was there. Doesn't seem like his type of vibe. And I'm like, did J-Lo just
as long as they're Siggies
instead of watching baseball and the Red Sox on a casual July 4th? Like, nah, you got to come to this party. You're bringing your daughter who looks nothing like you. Have you seen that photo?
She looks just like Jennifer Garner.
Really?
It's freaky.
Insane. Like, it's crazy. Like, it is so fucking
At first,
weird
I thought it was Jennifer Garner. And I was like, hold on. Affleck partying with Jennifer Garner and J-Lo? What's going on here? But then it's like, oh, it's a daughter. Which I'm like, okay, still kind of odd. But anyways.
as long as the heaters are there, Affleck will be there. He probably had a Dunkin'. Probably had a Dunkin' on the way over.
Did you see your guy Joe Burr?
Yeah. Of course, bro. You know who wasn't there, Timmy Hags? You know who wasn't there? Was our boy.
Who's that?
Trevor Lawrence.
Oh, new Godful.
How come Trevor didn't get an invite?
The show.
I think
he's not there at one playoff game.
Playoff games.
Yeah,
he won a playoff game.
Couple. You need to get to the championship game.
You need to get to the. You know, who wasn't there then?
Not yet.
Jalen wasn't there. You know why? Because Jalen was in the gym squatting 600 pounds, just getting ready for the fall. Number one.
The bag already. Why does he need to do squats? He doesn't.
Because the job's not done, Tim. Job's not done, and it's not about. It's not about.
I do like seeing.
It's about the journey. You know, it's not about the goal. It's about the journey, and so every day he's working.
I just want to make a request. As we talk about this party, that montage. First off, shout out to the photo of the two goats, Jay-Z and my guy Tom Brady. Huge shouts to that. But also, if we can end on how that video ended, which was The Wave by Kelly Rowland. Can't say my heart kind of just melted a little on that wave. Like Kelly Rowland. I feel bad for Kelly at some points because she kind of gets forgotten because Beyonce was such a
Shelly, real head.
Major disagree.
I appreciate that. Real ones know. Kelly
Who's
Rowland.
the third? Who's the other one? The other one, I don't even know. What's her name?
Michelle.
Sure. Like, at least Kelly Rowland has a career. Fuck.
I'm not going to let you slander Michelle like that, man. Poor Michelle.
Wasn't there two? I thought there were two. Shelly, just before we go, remind me, that picture that you sent me, it had Molly, girl from the Bear, and who was the third?
Oh, that's a girl from Molly, girl from Shiv.
Oh, Shiv. Yeah. Man.
I was like, what picture are you talking about? Then I was like, oh, yeah. I forgot about that picture. What was that from? That's like
I don't know, but it was like I was like, fuck. I couldn't figure out who the third one was, and it was a girl from the Bear.
Yeah.
But Molly,
don't you guys want to know?
Was Molly at the white party?
Ooh, good call.
Was Shiv at the white party?
Shiv should have gotten to the white party for sure.
I don't know if there's white pants. I don't know if there's white pants that could hold that wagon in. You know what I'm saying? Damn.
I do know what you're saying, Webby. Yes, I understand. Who else was? Lala. I don't know. It's basically a who's who. We should have just played the video, actually.
Do you think Larsa Pippen, and MJ's son were there?
I don't think they got the invite.
You see MJ responded to that? We're into the dying minutes here. Do you see MJ responded to that? Somebody, I wanted the balls on that reporter.
I'm rewatching the video, trying to see if I can spot somebody that's like, why are they in there?
Yeah.
So I see Mbappe, sure, great, like one of the best footballers, whatever. The next couple shots, Grant Williams. What?
Yeah, Grant Williams was there.
Why is he there?
There are some wild pictures. Yeah. So on Michael, if you go to Michael Rubin's stories, he basically just shared every single person who took a picture from the party. And there are some wild ones that popped up there. I was like, oh yeah, hold on. How does Grant Williams get that invite? That is a great point.
Wow. That's amazing.
It's odd for sure. Michael Rubin, Fabulous, still around. Shouts to Fabo. I'll never be mad at Fabo.
Legend.
You didn't mention DJ.
You guys
Khaled,
think it would be?
Well, of course he's there, but he's the king of the white party. Was Rose there? Was Ricky Rose there?
Do you guys?
No, he was still swimming. You see him jump off the diving board. Did you see that video? It's so good.
So tough.
He's the best, man. He might be the king of the internet.
My question with that is why was everybody filming him jumping off of a diving board? Did you see that like angle that he posted? Like there's
Hold
like
on a
50
second.
fucking cell phones. And I'm like, is this like a momentous moment in like hip hop history?
Hold on a
like
second.
he's jumping off a fucking diving board. Relax, everyone. Like
what would your reaction be though if you're at a pool party and then Rick Ross goes up to the diving board?
Make sure
I'm not
it's
whipping
sideways.
out my phone. That's for fucking sure. Like, why would I? I don't think so, man. Like, I don't know, especially if I'm looking around and everybody else is doing it too. Like, why do I need my angle of that? I don't know. That's just not me.
Rose.
Do you guys want to know, like, first of all, I can't believe like the head of who is this guy? He's like the guy that runs fucking
he owns part of the
fan or
Sixers,
whatever fucking,
but he owns Fanatics.
He had to sell his shares in the Sixers.
That's the one. Yeah. Like, okay, I didn't know this guy was this fucking powerful, but
so basically,
I also, like,
if you remember when the Meek Mill stuff happened?
Yeah,
when Meek Mill was getting out of jail. So he was really good friends with Robert Kraft, and they really, I mean,
they helped me
get out for sure. He was the one that actually went to pick up Meek Mill from jail, actually, and like get him the chopper to the Sixers game
so he could ring the bell.
So he could ring the bell at the Sixers game that night. But yeah, so he was part owner of the Sixers and owns Fanatics, but then had to sell his shares in the Sixers because Fanatics just now paired up with the gambling company. And so he wasn't allowed to be involved in a gambling company and have ownership in the team. So he's just a power broker.
Right. Do you guys want to know who hooked up with who at the end of this? Because I do.
I was saying, so Tom Brady.
I want to know.
Tom Brady at that party has to be putting in work. A single Tom Brady has to be putting in work.
Did you see his tweet? Did you see his tweet this morning? Or I guess like whatever. He was like hell of a party, definitely need my electrolytes or whatever. And I'm like, it's nothing crazy of a tweet, but I'm like, if he had to tweet this man had a fucking time. Like, Tom Brady's been to some fucking parties, okay? Like, of course. For him to be like basically acting like us back in grade 11 after like a sick fucking night out, and we're like, wow, hell of a night. Like,
hold on. If he was acting like me in grade 11, he needs to get himself to a hospital immediately. Electrolytes aren't going to help.
No, man, the plants are soaked into his bloodstream.
Just hang on tight, Tom.
All alcohol.
Hang on tight, Tom. You got another 8 hours of this, okay? Just make sure you got somebody to help you through the times, all right?
I think the orgy that he fucking orchestrated last night was probably enough to sober him up, right? He just worked it off. He was sweating bullets out there, right?
Certainly not what I was getting into in 11th grade.
How many people do you think are outside that party trying to sneak in? Like, it's got to be the security's got to be crazy. But I feel like, especially in this era of social media, this, the Instagram people, the Instagram thirst buckets got to be out there trying to just get in to take the one picture. And even if you get kicked out, you got your one picture showing that you were there. I saw Bouchard. Jeannie Bouchard had a picture, at least, like, of her walking up to the party.
You imagine?
That's an all-time YouTube video. All-time YouTube video. If like one of those guys that sneaks into like Super Bowls and shit, like snuck into this party, like that's content machine right there. Are you kidding me? That would be the most fucking crazy video ever. But yes, definitely. But that's the thing is, like, we probably we saw 10% of that actual population of that party in that video. Like, who knows who else was in there, right? Who knows? Like, I'm sure there were some crazy ass people in there.
At a white party, what's your drink? You got to go White Claw, gin and tonic, vodka soda.
These people aren't drinking White Claw.
What, like, a brown liquor's gonna stain you. Any kind of like rum punch action is. You're at red wine is a nightmare. You're asking for it.
No,
you got to go.
It's probably vodka tequila, right?
Yeah, vodka soda, tequila soda, gin and tonic.
I feel though at a certain point the phone's got to go away, and that's when the wildness starts.
Yeah.
Right. Like, a certain point, after Usher's done performing, the phones go away, and then the real party starts. I'm assuming like the shirts come off and shit, and like, the spills happen and all that fun stuff. I also feel like before we wrap this conversation up on this white party, that we should clarify exactly what a white party is for someone who might not be aware. Seeing as we're not showing visuals, it's everybody wearing white clothes. Just thought that was an important clarification.
All right, because
I started not like that, unfortunately.
There's been a couple white parties. I mean, back in 11th grade, you know what I'm saying?
No, I don't know what you're saying at all.
Listen.
Up at the lodge, Webby?
Self-incriminating here. What's the statute of limitation for narcotics convictions here?
We should rename the pod to Don't Get Fired.
Don't get fired.
That's where you were going with that. I thought you were talking like some racist Calgary shit.
With the hoods?
No.
Yeah. I think I showed up to a hood party.
I don't know. I was like, no, what? I don't know what you're talking about right now. I was like, I don't know what's going on in Calgary.
A white people party. Well, there is Calgary Stampede starting here in like a couple
they have it every year.
Yeah, that's probably the white people party.